It is May 21st. It is day 122 of the Trump presidency, and let's talk about the headlines today. So Trump met with the president of South Africa today, and this is very embarrassing. The meeting was supposed to be about trade, but instead, Trump spent, Lord knows how long, ranting about white genocide in South Africa. And I'm pretty sure that the president of South Africa thinks he's an idiot. And I don't think that the meeting went very well. It's just so embarrassing because, you know why it's embarrassing. I don't think I have to tell you. Oh, God, I just miss having, literally anyone else for president. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. The Pentagon has officially accepted that Qatari jet as Air Force One. Honestly, I don't care about it. Go for it. Do it. And if they implanted some sort of weird listening devices in there or they something sketchy about it, not my problem. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it will be our problem if, I don't know, if they use it to gain intelligence and then invade us or something. I don't know. I'm just done worrying about this stuff. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. There's too many moving pieces to all of this. And yeah, it doesn't, I'm assuming that if the Pentagon is okaying this, I'm assuming that they're just like rushing through some kind of weird process of like checking the plane to make sure that it's suitable and equipping it with whatever Air Force One is supposed to have. But again, I don't really care. Do you, Mr. Trump? Yeah, it just is. It looks very sketchy. I think everyone in this country at this point, even if you're a big Trump fan, I think even they know that he's breaking laws. I think a lot of them just don't mind that he's breaking laws unless it starts to affect them, right? Like if this budget passes, and we'll talk about that in a second, then, and people lose their Medicaid and Medicare, then we might have some bigger problems on our hands. But anyway, knock yourself out with your Qatari Air Force One, dude. Don't care. A judge has ruled that the deportation of 8 men that were sent to South Sudan, we talked about this yesterday, I think, violated court orders, and they have to bring them back. But again, will they do it? Nope, I don't think so. Where were the men from? They were from Myanmar, Vietnam. I don't know. They're not from South Sudan, which is what matters, right? Like you can't just send people who don't speak the language to another country. You can't just do that. But they're doing it anyways. They keep doing it. They keep violating laws, and I don't know. It'll be very interesting again to see, like, are there going to be consequences for any of these actions, any of these illegal actions, or are we just going to sit here and watch this? Because it kind of seems like we're just going to sit here and watch, but I guess we'll see. It's bleak, man. Okay. So, speaking of breaking the law, the Trump administration has requested of the Supreme Court, basically they made an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court that the Doge records be kept secret. There is a watchdog group that's trying to access the records right now. And they also want to block their leader, who, I don't know if you guys remember this, but instead of having Elon Musk as the actual figurehead, they pushed it off onto some lady named Amy Gleason, who honestly probably has no idea what's going on and probably has nothing to do with it. But they named her as like the acting leader for the budget cutting drive. And so the Trump administration is requesting that the Supreme Court block her from being deposed by this watchdog group. Nothing sketchy about that, right? Like people that commit crimes, for sure. I'm sure that they don't mind being deposed. It's just so, it's so obvious, man. It's so obvious. I also think that even beyond the crimes that they've committed with Doge, I think that this is also them avoiding the embarrassment of having to be having this information be made fully public, that Doge hasn't found any of the waste and fraud that it's claimed to. Elon he keeps revising the numbers on the website because they didn't find anything. They spent a bunch of money. They caused total chaos. They didn't fucking find anything. And actually, some of the Trump supporters are getting pissed at them because they have not arrested anyone. They're not doing anything that they said they were going to do because there's nothing to see, dude. There's nothing to see. And if this watchdog group is able to make this information public, then the jig will really be up. And then we have to have a public conversation about what just happened and all the money that Elon Musk just wasted. Ugh, God. The stupid tax bill, the big, beautiful tax bill. I don't want to call it that. I can't. But anyways, I guess I just did. It has not passed yet. They're still trying to ram it through as quickly as they can. And, they're arguing, although there's one faction of Republicans that's saying it's not cutting enough from the public because Trump wants to tack on $542 billion motherfucking dollars for his stupid golden dome. It's not just that. There's a bunch of other things that they want to. Long story short, it's going to add $3 trillion to the budget over, I can't remember how many years. By no means is this reducing national debt. It is doing the precise opposite. And, he's still giving huge tax cuts to the wealthy. So, we're not going to be bringing as much money in. And what's going to make it even crazier is that what he's done with tariffs is it's going to mean that there's even less money coming in. And also, that less people here have money to even spend and put back into the economy. Again, I think it's very interesting to be reading this book that I'm reading about the Great Depression. And now in that book, it's called The Worst Hard Time. It's gotten to the point where it's talking about when FDR became president and, is trying to address these problems and the things that FDR did to actually save the country. Because prior to that, the president, oh man, what was his name? Okay, FDR came right after. Dang it, I can't remember. Another very famous president that honestly didn't do very well. In any case, I think it's interesting to see the measures that they had to take that would today be called absolutely socialism, but there was no other choice. The government had to take over farming in the country because otherwise everyone would have starved to death and died and the country would have just continued to fall apart. So you should read it. It's very interesting. And I don't know why it's comforting, but it is. I mean, I think knowing that people that came before us lived through all of this and worse and came out the other side and not everyone died and they figured it out. You know what I mean? So I think we'll get through this. I just don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. But I will tell you that this administration is wildly corrupt and they know a lot of the corruption is out in the open. And I think it's funny that Mike Johnson is frequently defending the Trump administration by saying that, hey, at least they're doing this all out in the open. It's that does not make it better. It really doesn't, sir. Okay. This is kind of interesting news on the world front. The EU and Britain have imposed sanctions on Russia just without the United States. They're not going to sit around and wait. They basically said there's no time for us to wait and we got to just do this. Trump had a 2-hour phone call with Putin on Monday, and I think I may have mentioned that, but I have a little bit more information about it now. So after that phone call with Putin, he dropped his request to Russia for a 30-day ceasefire. So he was a part of this coalition. He's very easy to it's easy to turn his head and redirect him. And I think a lot of people have figured that out. And I think it's part of why everything looks so chaotic, because he's like, his attention span is like squirrel. And also, I think he's under a lot of people's thumbs financially, like literally. I think whatever Russia has on him is pretty extreme. Because again, he hung up the phone with Putin. He dropped his request to Putin for a 30-day ceasefire, complete ceasefire against Ukraine. He was talking really tough just before that. And then he also suggested that he may completely walk away from peace talks entirely. That the United States may completely walk away from peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. So it's all over the place for a reason, for multiple reasons. Some of which may be dementia, you know what I mean? But also, I do believe that a lot of what we're seeing at lower levels of the government and also all the way up to Trump is like bribery and threats. So I'm sure whatever Putin said to him isn't good. Maybe he just needed to be reminded of the reason why he is Putin's buddy in the first place. Sorry for a super short show today, but this is just these are the headlines. This is also what I have as far as stamina is concerned. But I'm sure most of you have heard by now that Rep. Jerry Connolly has passed away at 75 of cancer. He was serving as the top Democrat in the House Oversight Committee. That's a really important role, especially right now. When that election was going on, Andrea Ocasio-Cortez was also running for that position, and basically the establishment Democrats pushed her out. Nancy Pelosi pulled a bunch of strings to get Jerry Connolly elected. Jerry Connolly already knew he had cancer at that time. I mean, we gotta fucking stop this shit. I'm sorry. I understand. You know what? I really fully support people working in their 60s, and please work until you're dead. I plan to. I don't think I'll have a choice, will I? But not in the government. You know, not as like a bus driver or a pilot. There's some jobs you can't have when you know you're going to drop dead at any second, babe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's irresponsible. And I find it irresponsible to think of a country that is, you know, I have a lot of mixed feelings about all this stuff. That's why I haven't really brought it up. I know you guys have seen that Jake Tapper is writing a book about Biden, or wrote a book about Biden. I think that's skeezy as hell. Again, I have mixed feelings about this, but this portion of it, I do not. I think it is incredibly dangerous and irresponsible when you are in your late 70s and 80s to have an entire, not just country, but like the world order relying on you. And here's the thing, even if you are in fantastic health, you know what the likelihood is. You got to call a spade a spade. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's ego or denial or what the hell is going on. I don't know if it's just that they're like, at some point, doesn't making money on the stock market, doesn't that shit get old, you guys? Like, you can't take it with you, honey. So, yeah, like, hand it over to your kids and fucking go on vacation. Like, I don't understand. And it's got to be a lot of ego or thinking like no one else can meet this moment or something. No one else can step into this role. Or maybe there was people telling him that we needed him and it tugged on him in the correct way, but I just think it's irresponsible. I'm glad that worse didn't happen. I'm glad that he didn't die while he was in office with all the shit that's going on, you know? And honestly, I think there's a really high likelihood that Trump will. I think that that's very likely. It's crazy. We need younger presidents. I want to see age limits, and I don't care if people think that's ageist. You know, you got to be comfortable being left out of some things. It's just the way it is. Like, I don't want to see babies driving cars either. You know, it's we have to have some level of common sense about this shit. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on all of that. I mean, I'm sad for Jerry Connolly and his family, but I also think it's crazy that they did that. It's crazy, and it was harmful, and now I don't know, I don't understand, like, I don't know what the process looks like to replace him, but I'm sure, you know, I highly doubt that it's going to be able to go to AOC. I don't know if it, like, reopens for, like, a new election or what. Anyways, that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you guys are doing all right. Well, I want to say I hope you're doing great, but that seems insincere. Because I doubt that you are. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.